A very warm welcome to Art Gallery Explorer, the vlog that explores and celebrates the London art scene coming up. Now it's a beautiful early spring evening here in London as I head towards Trafalgar Square and the National Gallery to bring you an exploration of a show by Mexican 19th century landscape artist José María Velasco. I've been to Mexico and Mexico City, but I was really on the hunt for works by the great Mexican muralist Diego Rivera and his ilk, as well as works by Frida Kahlo, including going to her museum. So I really missed out on seeing works by José María Velasco. That's going to change today because this exhibition entitled A View of Mexico promises to bring some of his most well-known works together. And this exhibition is actually being put on in conjunction with an art museum in Minneapolis in Minnesota in the United States. I have to say I've been rewatching Breaking Bad, which is set in New Mexico, so that's further whetted my appetite for these kind of barren but beautiful landscapes peppered with cacti and the outline of mountains. Anyway, enough from me for now. I'm going to leave the works to speak for themselves and then share my thoughts at the end. I'm going to put on some music. As always, please, if you don't like what I've chosen, and I am limited by royalty-free music, put on your own. Let's go. This show is on until the 17th of August 2025. hope that gave you a sense of the José María Velasco show from the National Gallery in London. It was a very relaxing show. I felt the stresses and strains of a hectic week seep away as I immersed myself in Velasco's landscapes. It was a really worthwhile experience going there. And we must remember this is the first exhibition ever dedicated to a Latin American artist at the National Gallery. And it was made possible by some incredibly generous loans from Mexico, some national treasures, I would go as far as to say, as well as some really good loans from the Czech Republic, from Prague, which houses a great collection in Europe of Velasco's work, which I wasn't aware of. So I really enjoyed that. On the surface, these works are in the tradition of the Dutch Golden Age, going through to French artists like Claude of landscape painting. They're actually really still works, but what makes them really interesting is they're uniquely and distinctively Mexican, and they're so detailed that they reward really detailed viewing of these works. And the more you look, the more you see, and the more the paintings come alive. I can absolutely see why Velasco is so treasured in Mexico, because these are nothing more than giving a sense of Mexican national identity to what was then a young and rather troubled nation. These works are showing Mexicans almost what their country is in its full glory. And so I felt the power of art almost as a political tool, not as propaganda, but the power of landscape painting as part of capturing the national spirit. So that was really special. I enjoyed that a lot. And linked to that, I love the way that he looks backwards to the Aztec past, almost like a Renaissance painter in Italy would look back to the ruins of ancient Rome. He's doing the same with the Aztecs and embracing that in quite a romantic way, almost. These ruins are romanticized, but also looking forward to the future. There's a lot of the modern world in these works, in terms of factories and mills and the like. And what I really found interesting was that, unlike lots of European artists who saw the Industrial Revolution as a threat, these are seen as a natural part of the landscape. So it's really interesting to see that sort of past versus future encapsulating in Mexico. Velasco was also a multifaceted man who was interested in botany and geology, and you see that in the works as well. There's a scientific eye to lots of these works, and there's just this sense of the different colours of the Mexican landscape, which made these works very interesting. So I did really enjoy the exhibition as a whole. I would say it's a small show. It's really one small gallery and then one larger gallery. And so you'll spend about 35 minutes in there. There's less than 30 major works. But I do think that, as I said, you'll spend longer than you think, because the works require you to absorb them fully, stand in front of them and absorb them fully. So overall, with that all in mind, I would give this show 7.5 out of 10. I did really enjoy it. I'm really glad I went. If you've got the stamina, you might want to see it in combination with the Siena show to have two very different aesthetic experiences. Make sure you have a break in between. But this one on its own is £12 to get into, which I think is a reasonable price, bearing in mind the quality of the loan. It's a special show. I don't think we'll see these works in London again. So if you're interested in landscape painting, in Mexican art, do get along before the 17th of August 2025. After which this show transfers to Minneapolis in the United States. Do let me know in the comments if you've been to this show in London, or if you're intending to go to it when it reaches Minneapolis. And let me know your thoughts. Did you enjoy it? I certainly did. I probably will be back actually with an Art Fund card. It was only £5, so I feel I can sort of repeat visits, certainly to immerse myself more in these works. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do subscribe and hit that notification bell for many more upcoming reviews of shows across London, the southeast of England, and sometimes beyond.